How's it going, New World? Sethphir here, and we are back today with part 2 of the Leveling Guide series. Today we are going to be focusing in on levels 15 to 30, right? So we're going to be talking about that, how you're going to get there, how you're going to set yourself up for the main story, how you are going to set yourself up to be in a good position with tuning orbs for the dungeons, and all that good stuff. But first and foremost, I did want to take a quick moment to thank everyone who has been subscribing, liking, commenting on the videos, and showing any form of support. We have that join button now and the Discord, so if you are interested, go ahead and check those things out. So, diving into the bit of it here, starting from 15 onwards, so we'll talk about that. Once you're at 15, you should have a few things done in your main story quest line. As you can see here on screen, I am progressing that up. You need to keep pushing your main story quest line as far as it will let you go. It will level cap you off at some points, but you need to get to the point right here where you're going to defeat Erza, the Forge Master. You're going to need silver to do so. You need a few silver bars. You'll see in a second. I'll turn those in. So make sure you bring those with you, and you have the ability to even mine silver because you're going to need it at this point. So these are some things to keep in mind. This is going to allow you to get the quest that is going to give you the Azos staff, so you're going to be progressing towards that, which will allow you to do a lot of things in the game. If you don't have the Azos staff, you're kind of screwed because you just can't interact with the objects that you need to close. You can't close portals, you can't do dungeon stuff, so make sure you get your main story quest line done. It's very, very important. So, once we do have this Azos staff and we're doing a few of these quests, we should be ramping up towards level 23, and this is what I call the dead zone, right? From level 18 to 23, it seems like main story quest kind of halts a little bit, and you're just stuck leveling up. You're trying to get into Amrine Dungeon, you're trying to get into the ability to push the storyline quest even further. So you can go to a good degree and get a lot of this stuff in, but you're going to need to grind in this bracket, 18 to 23, right? So what are you going to grind? PvP missions are great. Town boards is number one as always. I cannot stress it enough. Town board, town board, town board. I'm going to say it till my face is blue. It's really good. Every 30 minutes, you need to be checking the town boards. You need to be completing different types of missions on there. We did a guide on that. Go back and check that out so you know what's worth and what's not worth, so you're not wasting your time. So you're going to be doing that. You're going to be doing some of the pre-missions that will follow up and lead into some of these other good areas. Like, you're going to get tuning orb missions and stuff like that. So any side quests you can see in your area might be okay to do, but I would probably recommend PvP flagging, PvP missions, or just faction missions. Faction missions are really nice at this level. They give a solid chunk of XP, so that's also a good go-to after that. Since you are kind of in this low-level range, there is no particular elites that you could grind. The earliest you could probably start doing that is like level 19 maybe, down in Monarch's Bluff. So that is a place you could check out, the Deadman's Cove, if you're right around that area of bracket. But really, I would probably say town boards plus side questing with some of the faction missions is the way to go for getting out into that 23 bracket, right? So once you're in 23, so 23 is where you're going to look at a few important things. You unlock the ability to go into Amrine Dungeon and obtain the repeatable quests from Barkimedes right outside the dungeon. What is that repeatable quest? It is basically a quest that will allow you to collect 3 bones from monsters within the instance, and yes, you can do this multiple times. Yes, you can also almost complete it twice in the same run, and you do this by having everyone go out, turn in the quest, besides one person who needs to stay in the dungeon or it will reset. I repeat, one person has to stay in the dungeon or it will full reset. If everyone leaves, it's over. So make sure someone stays in, everyone turns in, then they come back in. That one guy that stayed in, he then leaves and walks out the dungeon and then turns in himself, grabs it, comes back in, and then you complete the progress from there, right? You're getting more progress. So we'll go ahead and hop over to the Amrine kind of section about this, and we'll talk about the pre-quests and the tuning orb quests that you may want to snag up so that you can do a few more of these dungeon runs. Alright, and here we are in the Amrine Dungeon. The previous Barkimedes quest that I showed you, I will be doing right now, so you will see that on screen how I'm getting that repeatable done in the dungeon and then coming back again, right? So go ahead and take note of that. But other than that, there are a few other very nice quests that you will see coming up here. So a few things to look out for. In Windsward, there is a quest called Towering Tools, which is available at level 23 as well. It's going to be from Lakina Pagitnova. Oh man, that was hard to say. I don't even know if I got that right. Hopefully I did. But she is basically going to give you a prereq quest, which is going to lead to an expedition quest called Seeing Clearly, which should give you access to an additional tuning orb, I believe, for Amrine. Correct me if I'm wrong down below. But regardless, it's still a quest for the Amrine dungeon, which gives massive experience. You're definitely going to want to grab this one. Another one that you're going to need to start getting progress on is a quest called Led by Stars. It's going to be from William Heron in Everfall. And this is going to be the prereq that leads up to an Amrine quest, but additional to that, it is actually going to follow through into a Starstone quest. And that is the level 35 dungeon. So it's going to set you in a nice position once you get out of that 30 bracket, which we'll talk about in the next video, to be able to sort of, go into another dungeon set at 35 and get some more of that valuable XP. There is also a repeatable dungeon in there, but we'll talk more about that in the follow-up for this. So those two quests are very ideal. So you'll get that Led by Stars. It leads to the quest called Center of the Stars, and then it leads to a quest called the Foreman's Ledger, which is the Amrine part of that. It should ask you to go into Amrine dungeon and kill some guy, foreman somebody, or collect a little note. And it's very simple, right? It's going to give you an extra tuning orb for Amrine Dungeon, and it will allow you to go again. And that's the important part, because once you use your orb, it is consumed. So your group can do this 5 times if you have a group. And I would highly recommend you predetermining that and setting up your group. But if you do some of these quests, you can go 10 times instead, 15 times instead. And that's huge because Amrine is one of the best places to level up to 30. Not to mention that you get a lot of gear, a lot of gold, a lot of Azoth and resources like that, right? From turning in these repeatables and things like that. So this is definitely a go-to way to get from 23 to 30, right? It starts to cap out at 30. It gets really weak right around there, and that's when you want to get out. So I would definitely strongly recommend using this method. It will save you a lot of time. It's also great to interact and hang out with your friends and company. I would couple it with town boards. Like, do not just go into this dungeon and completely ignore town boards. That is not what you want to do. You basically want to do your town boards. Then you want to go and start the dungeon run, clear the dungeon, come back, and then hit the next section of town boards when it's up in 30 minutes. That is probably the most ideal leveling path for this range. The only other thing you could do to mix this up, if you run out of tuning orbs, I would consider going to Monarch's Bluff and Deadman's Cove on the elites and grinding those. They give quite a lot of XP, but mainly they give weapon XP. They also give items like treasure chests there that are on big cooldowns, like day cooldown and stuff, the elite chests. So if you go there only once, it's super worth. If you go there more than once per day, maybe not so much, but check it out once per day so that you can get access to those like 7 elite chests, and it'll give you a huge gear boost, as well as a bunch of items that you can salvage and materials and all that kinds of stuff and gems, and it's just going to be really great for you, right? Fantastic thing to do. The other thing that you could do that will not be very effective on launch day is going to be portals, corrupted portals, because those don't start spawning in until people start claiming things, right? So maybe day 3, these things might start popping up, and if they do, there's going to be a little bit. But usually they don't pop up in the low-level zones until, probably day 3, day 4, somewhere around there, and then they start populating a little bit more. And by that time, if you're a hardcore player, you may be out of the level 20 to 30 bracket range, right? But if you're not, then great. You can also do the corrupted portals. I have a guide on portals that shows you exactly how to do them efficiently, so you can check that one out, and that will get you through, as you do get quite a lot of experience. You get quite a lot of Azoth, and you also get faction box or like portal boxes, which have shards and slivers and all kinds of great in-game resources, even starting at level 25. So these are definitely good go-tos. So yeah, that's pretty much my level 15 to 30, right? So all we're doing is we're focusing on the main storyline, getting it as far as we possibly can to where we get the main storyline quest to enter Amrine Dungeon. We also need to pick up a few quests at 23, which is going to be that Seeing Clearly dungeon quest, which starts with Towering Tools, and then we need that Led by the Stars following to Center of the Stars following to the Foreman's Ledger, right? Those are the two big ones, because those are going to be nice quests to have going forward into the game, and also give you access to a lot of Amrine tuning orbs, so you can just spam this out all the way to level 30. If you can't do any of that, or you get lost or something like that, your next best go-to is going to be those elites and the portals, and that's pretty much it. Keep up with your town boards. Again, 100% town boards, town boards, town boards. You need to do it. You need to get them every 30 minutes. It's going to be so vital for you to do this thing, so make sure you keep track of that as well. All right. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. I hope that you found this video helpful and it gives you a good idea of where to go and why. And if you did like the video, be sure to subscribe, hit the little like button, the bell, all that good stuff. We have a Discord with tons of community members. We also have an LFG in that Discord where people are reaching out and connecting, trying to find groups and guilds and things like that. So check out the link below. We'll have it there for you. You can interact with New World players that are, like-minded and all that good stuff. We also have a join button on the channel if you're interested in further supporting us. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we will catch you in the next video.